Is modern physics a religion? The sanctuary prayers teach that laws are immutable and observations are objective. But what happens when reality shatters the law? Observe, at 80 degrees Celsius, the milk is in total motion, nearly overflowing the pot. The fire is on. Energy is being delivered. According to the sacred texts of thermodynamics, boiling is a state of matter defined by temperature and pressure. But your eyes see a different truth. Motion is determined by the presence of an active heat source, a vector force doing work, not a statistical average. In this next cycle, when the milk settles, the temperature reaches 95 degrees Celsius, 15 degrees higher. The only difference: the fire is off. If the evidence is so clear, why does the priestly class of physics ignore it? Because modern physics has ceased to be a search for truth and has become an institutional religion. It has all the markings of a faith. The prophet, an infallible Einstein whose word is law, sacred scriptures, field equations that have not been modified in over a century. The priestly class, brainwashed academics who wield the incomprehensibility shield, claiming that if you do not speak the ancient language of tensor calculus, you cannot question the dogma. When a religion's prophecy fails, it invents mysteries. When general relativity fails to explain galaxies, the high priests invent dark matter and dark energy, invisible, undetectable spirits that exist only to save the theory from falsification. When reality does not match the equations, they redefine reality. Sound familiar? Amen. This is not science. It is the mummification of a dead theory, preserved by the rituals of the academy, the baptism of entrance exams, the ordination of a PhD, the inquisition of peer review, which excommunicates any heresy that threatens the funding of the temple. If they can neither predict nor properly explain, without relying on pseudo-scientific, unfalsifiable mythological beings, why milk at 80 Celsius boils and overflows your pan with the fire on, yet stays still at 95 Celsius, just because the fire is off? Why should we use their theology to understand the universe? I am a medical doctor. I was trained in evidence, not dogma. And today, I declare, modern physics is no longer science. It is a religion, and it is time for a reformation. Thermodynamics claims it's all about temperature, entropy, and heat dispersion. Reality begs to differ. It shows an obvious correlation between the heat source and the boiling motion. Temperature is essential, but an active heat source is the determinant factor for the movement. Even with constant rising temperature, the motion only exists if the fire is on. Burn your books. They are useless. Forget about overcomplicated mathematics. Reality is much simpler than that. Look around. Free your mind from paradigms. Reject dogmas. Believe in yourself. Identify the patterns. Welcome to the real science.